Hi, I'm Dutch from Son of a Gun Sailing, and this is my 1972 Newport 16. So I saw this Newport 16 for sale on Facebook Marketplace. It's only about an hour from home. After contacting the seller and setting up a time to meet him a day or two after I first saw that ad, he agreed to wait until I was able to come and see it within those couple days. There's been a lot of interest in it, but he was genuine about it, and since I was the first person to contact him, he just let those other potential buyers know that they were next on deck. So as we walk around the boat, we'll start right up here at the chain plate. Somehow this cast part had sheared off. There are still two more holes, so I may be replacing the chain plate, or I may leave it as is. This really only need two attachment points anyways. This circle hatch or access panel, very badly UV damaged. I've tried to open it up, and all it does is keep chipping off, and to keep from just creating a hole that's going to go straight into the cabin, I've given up on trying to open it, and I'll just replace it when I get the opportunity to do that. Up here on the deck too, there's lots of cracking in the gel coat, and the weeds kind of spreads throughout all the way up to the front of the cabin. You can see the stress cracks all along here, and this gouge in the fiberglass. This is all the way up into the fiberglass up here, so that's going to take some feathering and fiberglass work to build that back out and strengthen it. As I go back over to the starboard side, similar cracking issues all along here. What's more evident on this side is the cracking up here near the mast step. That seems pretty significant. Again, I think that's from maybe the shrouds and the forestay being tightened down too much by previous owners, or maybe pressures and stresses that have been placed onto the boat. Maybe they're out in heavier weather than they were expecting. So to help remedy this, I'm planning on putting knee bracing on the inside to help keep the flex from happening up here at that point down to basically the top of the windows. And then again, down here as much as I can, though any knee bracing I do, especially this low, it's really going to have an impact on the interior space, how usable it is. So it's pretty small in there, and we'll see that here in a moment. In a lot of spots, there's small imperfections and damages in the gel coat and fiberglass all along the sides. So this is going to be a pretty in-depth restoration. I'm probably going to be doing it in phases, starting with the hull, actually doing a separation between the hull and the deck, and that way I can address some of the issues and still be able to use the boat when it's in the prime sailing season. Previous owner had replaced the tiller handle. He said it was in really rough shape. He just replaced it with an axe handle. It works. Kind of like the windows that he had replaced. They work. Not particularly great looking, but at least refinish the axe handle, and in the future replace it with some teak when I'm doing a lot of work. There did come with a shallow water or a shoal water. There's a proper name for this part of the rudder, but that's in the cabin right now. It doesn't have its own rudder blade or its own tiller handle. It's just this portion here. I don't see this being a draft issue on the waters that will primarily be sailing, so I'm keeping with this setup. But if I were to need it, I do have that option, maybe for other adventures that I end up doing that are primarily in shoal water. The previous owner also redecked the jack plate for the motor mount. One thing I'm not thrilled about is how much this flexes to transom, because there really is nothing but fiberglass here. They did put a backer board on the other side, but it's only about as big as the mount is wide, so I don't really think that braces enough for very much motoring. So I'm planning on putting significantly more bracing into the transom so that it's much more sturdy. We will go below and I'll show you some issues that I found on the swing keel. But other than that, I believe that's most of the exterior shots. Here in the cockpit, we got some other work projects to be doing. See here, the swing keel. This is the winch that raises and lowers the swing keel. Pretty rusted. I imagine it's original. I mean, it functions, but I wouldn't want to have to rely on it to be able to retract that keel to recover the boat, or, you know, God forbid the cable snaps and I can't retract the keel during some sail. So that's going to be on the list of things to replace. Just like the board, it looks like oak. Looks to be in pretty rough shape. No reason not to replace it. It's not that hard or difficult to do so. Before anyone asks or says anything in the comment section, yes, I know this is not properly rigged. I just kind of wanted to show that, you know, it did come complete with a mast and boom. But I just kind of rigged this up so we could see that, what it looked like full up. Again, I know it's not properly rigged, but that's okay. They come original with one storage hatch. It's not lined or anything. It's straight down to the hull, but that will work for right now. I am looking to find another hatch that would be sturdy enough, strong enough that I could put at least on the other side, but would also be strong enough to be able to sit on top of. All right, next we're going to move inside. So now for the cabin interior, obviously through the companionway, we've still got some more fiberglass. It's tore up here, but you know, that's kind of a recurring theme on a boat this age. Did come, I'm sure these cushions are original given their condition. Some tears in them. Ideally get some new ones made eventually, but that's kind of low-hanging fruit compared to some of the other structural issues that we've pointed out. But there are three pieces of cushion that form up the V berth. This square one actually lifts up, and there's a little makeshift toilet, convenient if you're traveling or camping with some small kids. Doesn't obviously drain anywhere. There's no black water holding tank or anything like that on board. You just put a bag underneath there and do the business, and sprinkle some sawdust on top of it to minimize odors and from any sloshing around that might happen as the boat heels over. We pointed out the keel from underneath the boat from outside, but as you can see down here along the keel tunnel, previous owner had put some caulking in there in some kind of attempt to keep it from leaking. I haven't splashed the boat yet. I'm hoping to do that here in a couple days, just to see how bad that leaks out. I imagine we're going to find water coming in through there. I imagine what happened was they had let the keel swing down uncontrolled, whether they just didn't use the brake on the winch or maybe the cable broke, something like that. The keel swung forward, slapped up against the front of the keel tunnel, and caused damage up there to the fiberglass in the hull, where the hull penetration is from the keel. So that's going to be the most significant work, and that's why I definitely have to separate the hull from the deck in order to do all the fiberglass repairs that I'm intending to do. Lots of mold and mildew, it looks like in here. It doesn't smell too bad, so the odors aren't real strong, so it's probably just some mildew. It is just kind of musty smell. So I'll come in here, clean this up with a bunch of bleach. Probably be a lot easier to do once I've already separated the hull from the deck. So we'll see about that when I get an opportunity to do all that. Again, putting the knee bracing up here, you can see where that's going to cut into the space overhead for anyone that's going to be sleeping in here. I believe the advertisement said from the original manufacturer that this is supposed to sleep 4. I don't see that being comfortable, even with my feet up under the hatch, or excuse me, under the bench. I can lay down in here and I can certainly take a nap or sleep like this, but I don't see 4 people doing this. But of course, you always have the opportunity to go ahead and take a nap out there on the benches in the cockpit. It does look like there's just as much room up there as there is to sleep back here. But I couldn't imagine being underway with 4 people on board for more than an afternoon.
And there you have it. That was a walk around of my Newport 16. Got a lot of projects that I've identified that I have to address over the winter to make sure that she's ready to go in fine form next summer. Be sure to like and follow us over on Facebook, and like and subscribe right here on YouTube.